Good afternoon. First of all, thank you aloud for the opportunity. My name is Giuseppe Bono, and I'm an Italian and British registered architect, BIM lead, and computational designer who lives and works in London after having worked in several countries in recent years. I hold a master's degree in architecture and construction engineering from Politecnico di Milano, and I'm now an MSc candidate in architecture computation at the Bartlett School of Architecture, UCL. In this short interview, I'm going to focus on the current digital turn happening in architectural education. During the last 30 years, the use of computational technologies related to architecture has exponentially increased. Such evolution is significantly influencing the way we design and perform our buildings. And at the same time, it is giving life to new academic courses. Some of the most important universities in the world, such as MIT, UCL, ETH Zurich, University of Stuttgart, are developing new teaching programs where students are exposed to a broad spectrum of computational tools and methods. The increasing use of digital technologies and the introduction of disciplines related to the new digital reality are giving life to new forms of education and methods of research. To understand the level of teaching in an architectural framework, it is crucial to have clear in mind what kind of architect and what kind, especially of professional in general, we want to educate, and the context of reference in which this new professional will act. To appreciate the role of the architect in a digital context where the architect itself seems to have lost any form of primacy, we need to look 20 years back, more precisely at the end of the 20th century, where the building industry was fundamentally broken. The rise of new technologies, and especially in general, a more technological trend, fragmented the entire industry, causing disruption in terms of risk aversion, low investments, and low compensation for the architectural profession, traditionally oriented to resist to any form of technological advancement. In such a context of disruption and significant changes, some companies began to conduct experiments inside the new technological opportunities, abandoning the common strategy adopted by the majority of the practices, which focused the effort in implementing traditional business models. From that moment, algorithmic design and data analysis spread across the architectural discipline, giving life to new spin-off companies connected to the mother practice, such as Gary Technologies, for instance, a spin-off company generated from Gary's office. While for the pioneers of this new integrated approach, the creation of computational tools to support the creative process was a way to reclaim authority and control over the outcomes. The use of new technologies for contemporary practices is a way to diversify their services, a procedure to integrate their work, a process to reinvent their professional role toward a more entrepreneurial identity. The ability to holistically take on problems is a distinctive feature of architects. For this reason, the architect needs to be a cultural entrepreneur, interested in business, but also with a genuine passion for culture. This holistic idea of the architect as cultural entrepreneur seems to be the more appropriate starting point for the construction of a pertinent school of architecture in the current digital era, pertinent to a panoptic view of our time, against any excess of specialism and clusterization of knowledge. The current situation of architectural education represents a very complex universe, composed by a significant range of courses and programs. The most important institutions and universities around the world offer countless opportunities to continuously undertake academic studies, not only in terms of diversification of content, but also in terms of duration and delivery methods. For instance, short online courses based on new forms of smart teaching, are now given the opportunity to quickly obtain certificates to develop skills related to both academic and professional environment. Such frenetic specialization generates a series of collateral effects, and one of them is a consistent increase of the global academic offer. In other words, a bulimic need of knowledge, potentially leading to nowhere. Considering the rise of this new pedagogical overabundance, deeply inappropriate to pursue the idea of educating new generation of architects to become cultural entrepreneurs, there is another way of teaching architecture, which is arising inside the most important institutions and universities, this transdisciplinary approach. Talking about this transdisciplinary approach in architecture means highlighting a complex and ongoing process of renovation of the architectural discipline, based on a constant collaboration with other disciplines, such as anthropology, sociology, but also computer science, engineering, and management. The final result of this transdisciplinary approach is the creation of pedagogical methods in which architecture represents only one part of a far more complex system of knowledge, which configures itself as a polycentric system, a sum of multiple focal points based on a paratactic order. The construction of a relevant architectural education has to promote a constant interaction with the surrounding reality and guarantee a critical penetration of it. For this reason, there is still a question which is an answer: how a contemporary school of architecture can be created. To attempt to answer this question, two steps need to be made. Firstly, there is need to decide what are the main disciplines currently affecting the architecture. Secondly, there is need to set the methods to use in connecting such disciplines and to lead them toward the construction of an operative architecture. Regarding the main disciplines affecting architecture in a digital context, they can be summarized in 6 actions, which can be considered as containers of all the disciplines involved in a new architectural education in the age of digitization. Designing, such as product design, architectural design, urban design. Engineering, such as structural engineering or material engineering. Making, such as digital manufacturing, robotic fabrication. Managing, such as economy, politics. Programming, computer science, data analysis, and understanding, anthropology, sociology, or computer science. 4 of them, designing, making, programming, and understanding, could be included in the first 3 years of studies, purely based on learning, while the remaining 2 actions, engineering and managing, could constitute the main parts of the final 2 years, a time organized as a progressive move from learning toward proposing, namely from the first 3 years in which students actually new to the architectural discipline may absorb a wide range of notions, to the final 2 years where the learning goals is shifted towards real dynamics of reality and professional context, giving to students the opportunity to put into practice what they have learned in the previous 3 years. And, most importantly, developing their new ideas in a conscious and well-structured environment. After having specified the main disciplines currently affecting architecture, the second step to make is setting the educational methods that we want to use in connecting such disciplines. In terms of pedagogical methods, merely looking at the history of architecture provides a considerable number of examples to be inspired by. From the craft laboratories of the Bauhaus to the contemporary concept of visiting schools adopted by the Architectural Association, the examples are countless. In between, remarkable models and methods, such as the architectonics courses organized by John Aydock at the Cooper Union, or the paperless studios created by Greg Ling at the Columbia University. In general, a faculty organized around the ideas of team teaching and visiting professors may be the right combination of choices to organize the study plan along 5 years and to guarantee a continuous update of contexts. These are only initial observations of a far more complex educational project to teach architecture and to educate architects in the age of digitization. The intent is to offer a comprehensive educational framework able to provide to students both practical and theoretical skills to serve and at the same time to lead the current digital evolution of our society. As said before, the crucial point is being able to penetrate the reality, be within it, to be against it. In other words, learning the ability to adhere to the surrounding world while remaining detached from it, at least up to the point of being able to put it into a different perspective. Thank you very much.